Hey guys, what's up? And welcome to our second part of our Skittles Vodka. So as you can see, last time we put the Skittles in here, mixed them all up, and I've left them overnight. And as you can see, a lot of them, they've got this sort of foam on the top, a little bit on the bottom. All of them have this. So you can see sort of where it is. I mean, there were about 30 Skittles in each one. It says in a sort of a normal pack. The one I used, there was about 30 in each. So for this bit, we're going to filter them. I'm going to show you how to filter one properly and do all of that. So obviously you're going to need 5 vodkas that you did yesterday. You'll need small vodka because obviously a lot of this, some of this is going to get lost, and that's because we're filtering some off. It'll get absorbed into the cloth, and obviously some of it's in sediment and stuff like that we're trying to get rid of. You're also going to want 2 jugs. So, I'm going to start off with the orange one, because that's got the most on. I'm going to give it a quick shake just to make sure that sediment is sort of somewhat evenly distributed. And it will filter up very quickly, so get your jug ready. So we're going to pour it all straight into a jug. It smells, you can smell the orange and vodka, so it's working. I'm just pour this all in here. Now what you can do with your bottle is you need to give it a quick wash. And that's because obviously a lot of sediment is still going to be clinging to the sides on the top of the bottle cap. As you can sort of see there, it's quite orange. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give that a quick wash, put the lid back on, give it a shake, and just keep it clean. And this way it helps with filtration because any sort of little bits that are in here will get removed. It'll be cleaner. So I'm going to do that quickly, and then I'll show you how to filter out the rest of the Skittle Vodka in the jug here. Okay guys, I've still got the clean bottle now, so put this aside just for a minute. Now with the filtering, you need probably 2 jugs, a little sieve just to act as like a holder, and you need, now for this part you even need sort of something like I'm using, which is a muslin cloth, or coffee filters or something like that, something you can easily sort of fold up. I've only ever used muslin cloth, so I can't really say how well the coffee filters work. I know it tends to be how it's done, but I just fold it up a bit. Sorry, just fold it up a couple times, and then put it into a sieve like this. This is the easy bit. You just get your Skittle Vodka, you just pour it in, like so. Obviously it'll filter through, and the bigger chunks of foam and stuff will get stuck in here. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, you can just buy Skittle Vodka, and that is something that you can do, and it's obviously a bit of an easier way to do it. Personally, I prefer to make it myself, and that's because you know what vodka is going to be going in it, but you can't always tell. There's the Skittles as well. A lot of the time, people the companies will sort of just put in the colouring and a bit of flavouring, nothing else really. And for me, part of the Skittle Vodka is it's got everything else in there as well. I mean, what I've done with these is I left them overnight, so all the Skittles actually became dissolved entirely in them. I mean, you can do it sort of one or two ways. You can either do it like that, or you can sort of just leave it a couple of hours for enough colour and flavour to get loosened up and infused with vodka, and then just fish them out. I mean, in terms of how many Skittles to put in and how much sort of flavour and taste you want, pretty much. How much colour and how much flavour you want here. It depends entirely how many Skittles you put in. So there's really no sense of. Basically, the more flavour you want, the more Skittles you put in. Same with colour. I mean, I put about 30 in each here because I wanted one that tastes relatively strong, and has quite a distinct taste. I mean, this green one is obviously quite bright, and that's kind of what I wanted. I wanted one that had a good taste and a good look to it. I mean, if you put, obviously you're going to lose some of this colour through the filtration process. That's because some particles are floating around, and when you add more vodka, you will lose you will be losing some of the colour during filtration, and you have to be topping it up with more vodka. So obviously, the more you top it up, obviously the vodka's clear, and that's going to dilute the colour a bit. Don't need to worry too much about that though. It'll still look pretty good. So this is probably the most time-consuming bit, is sort of waiting for it to filter through. But obviously, you know, there's very much you can do about that. I mean, this is the bit where you tend to lose sort of the most vibrant of the colours. And that's purely because obviously all that foam and crap is still sitting in there, and that's making it look so dark. But I mean, I'll show you this after I finish filtering it. You'll see sort of just how rough it does look. So very slowly. I'm going to grab a little spoon or something just to help push it through and break it up. I'll tell you why in a second. Okay guys, I'm back, and what I've done is I've just gone and got some kebab skewer. Now, the reason I've done this is because it helps speed up filtration. And no, I'm not just going to poke holes in it. Obviously, with this, a lot of the foam that we came from here is now sitting in this cloth, clogging up and making like a little stopper, so to speak. So you sort of run it through a little bit like this. It help break that foam bit up, and it will allow your Skittles vodka to get through quicker. Obviously, you don't need to do that. That's what I'm doing, just to get it going a bit faster. We're almost done here, actually. This first one. That's the last of it. Now, obviously, this cloth is going to absorb a little bit more of the vodka than you would find with coffee filters, something like that. So it's probably a good idea to use those, but it doesn't matter that much. The only important thing at this point is getting rid of the foam and the stuff. I mean, you see it quite well here on this green one. This sort of whole top layer, inch and a half, is just foam, and that is not really something you want to eat. That's all the sort of the bad parts of the Skittle, so to speak, and the bits you wouldn't really be able to get rid of. I mean, think about it, you're putting it in alcohol and it's not dissolving, it's not an overly good sign. I mean, it's all sort of the vegetable fats, the animal fats, all the sort of stuff that you don't really need excess of in your diet. But yeah, so it's just gonna hurry up. Obviously, I'm just gonna go through this first one, recording it for you guys. I'll then sort of cut, and I'll show you guys. I'll do the others off camera, and I'll show you them after the first filtration. In terms of how many times you want to filter, it's up to you. I'm personally going to filter until there's no sort of layer of stuff from the top, but you know, obviously you can do it sort of as much or as many times as you want. Almost there. And obviously, you know, one of the things is how many times you fold this up is going to depend how quick that filtration process is, and how much colour is and vodka is sort of taken. I mean, I filtered this like 3-4 times. So instead of just having one layer of vodka, it's not going through one layer into the jug. It's going through, you know, see, 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. So if you do start one layer, that's effectively one filtration. If you want to think of it this way, 4, if that's how you want to think of it. So that is it. That is our first layer of Skittle vodka done. I'm going to show you that. That's sort of dripping over. That is all the sort of leftover crap from the Skittle vodka. I'll get that before down. So this is the sort of stuff you'll be left with afterwards. That's all the foam, all the crap, everything like that. So what I'm going to do is, obviously this one's, again, it's got some crap on there from when you did it. Stick that there. Get your funnel, pop it back in the orange one, and just pour it back in. It's lost a lot of colour in this one. This is why I haven't done orange really before, because it does look particularly rubbish afterwards, as you can see. But you know, there isn't overly much you can do with that. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and fix this so it has more of an orange colour back, and I'll show you guys how to do that. Let's get this, pop it in. sort of fill it back in like that. And obviously, you don't have to do this, and this is kind of going to get rid of the whole filtration process. Hey guys, back. Sorry about my friend decided to go and phone me whilst I was in the middle of filtering out. Basically, I fixed the orange vodka, and when I did that was I got the muslin cloth. This is it. Back. Mixed much of the muslin cloth. Poured all the vodka back in. Just mixed it all together. And when I filtered it through, it came out pretty much fine. In the meantime, whilst I was on the phone to him, I managed to get these 3 done. Each one has a tiny little bit of foam. You see it there on the tiny little layer of foam is on the top, but that's one that'll be quite easy to get rid of. I've been topping them up with more vodka. I'm currently sitting on the green one now. In terms of filtration and time, this is the one that's going to take you the most, and this is because obviously you can't really hurry the filtration. Sorry, you can't really hurry the filtration process up. You kind of need to just let it go and go at its own pace. I mean, obviously it will take a while, but obviously you want to make sure that it is doing it properly. And also you can kind of see already that, like, I mean, obviously, the colour does kind of come out when you're doing filtration, and there's not really much you can do to stop that. I mean, if you wanted, you could add some food colouring or something like that. I mean, that's what a lot of the big companies do when they make their own Skittle Vodka. But obviously, if you're trying to... sounds stupid, if you're trying to watch what goes into your vodka and your Skittles, obviously that's something you don't really want to add any extra of. So personally, I wouldn't do that. What I'm doing is just doing it like this. And again, this is one of the reasons I prefer to make my own Skittle Vodka rather than just, buying it. I mean, for starters, I don't know, there's nowhere locally I can actually buy Skittle Vodka. So I would have to order it online, which obviously can be, again, pricey for person packaging and stuff like that. But, with a lot of these companies, they do tend to add sort of some unhealthy substances such as food colouring, preservatives, and all this sort of stuff, which you don't really need, to be honest. But because obviously Skittles are a food, and one of the things, as far as I'm aware, that gets filtered off, that's the stuff that's floating on top, is stuff like the preservatives and all the stuff like that you don't really want in your vodka. And that's because vodka, obviously alcohol, it's there are a couple of ways you can preserve foods. If it's highly got a high concentration of salt, a high concentration of sugar, acidity, something like that. And vodka, they use this one of the things. If you say you had a cut, you could pour high proof alcohol on you and help sterilise it. Same sort of thing. Nothing is really meant to live in here, and obviously Skittles, high sugar concentration, high sugar, high alcohol content, nothing's really going to be growing in there, but you don't really want to add any sort of excess things such as preservatives or anything you don't have to. So I mean, so far it's taken me about an hour, to be honest, to filter out these first 3. And obviously it's just one of those things that does take a bit of time. And obviously, so this is the bit that's going to take up the most of your time, but if you do it right, you only have to do it once or twice. And obviously, if you're only doing, say, 1 colour or 2 colours, you're going to be fine. It won't take too long. It'll be done in about 30 minutes. This one's taking a bit of time, so you're going quite slowly, this green one. But obviously, if you're doing all 5 colours like I am, you're going to be stuck doing that for quite a while. So it tends to depend entirely how many colours you want to do. I mean, when for my friend's birthday last year, it was Christmas, I made him a couple of different ones. I made him 3. I made him a red one, a yellow one, and a green one. And that was because me and him play Skyrim a lot. So I was like, I'm going to make him a health potion, a potion of strength, and a poison. And that's what I did. So that was only 3. It wasn't too bad, to be honest. Obviously, the more you're doing, the longer it's going to take in terms of having to filter it out, of having to sort the colours out, and just generally do all of it. So yeah, this is why I give you a little update on what I'm doing. I'm going to cut this now, and I'm going to finish off filtering out the green and the red, and I'll get back to you guys, and I'll show you what to do next. Hey guys, so I just want to show you exactly why it's important to filter the Skittle Vodka. This is all the stuff sort of came off just the yellow Skittle Vodka. So if you can imagine each one of these having, each of those 5 having that much crap on it. So yeah, that's just what I want to show you, to show you why you need to filter it off and make sure you're doing a good job at that. Guys, so I've just finished filtering out the last of the vodkas, this being the red one. Now, as you can see, there's quite a bit empty that's in here. So what you will need to do at this stage is just top it up a little bit with some more vodka. That's just, you want to make sure that it's not, empty by the time you finish filtering. Sorry, by the time you finish filtering. So now we've had a bit more vodka to it. This is the first stage of filtration done and finished. So I'm going to put your lid back on. Give it a quick shake just to mix up all of the vodka you just put in, the rest of anything that might be in there. So, as you can see, the colour has changed a little bit, it's a little bit less vibrant. Same with all of them, really. Now, the next stage to do here, particularly the orange one, obviously some of them will still have quite a bit of stuff on the top. The orange one is quite a good example of this. As you can see there, the head's already starting to form back on it. So what I would say now is the best thing for you to do is to put them back where you were on a windowsill or a ledge or wherever. And just keep them for another 24 hours or so, and sort of, every couple of hours or so, just pick one up, give them a quick shake, just to keep everything mixed up, and put it back. Leave it a couple of hours later, maybe go do the same thing, and then tomorrow what we'll do is I'll filter it out again, do the same thing, and we will go through what you next need to do. To be honest, at this stage, the first filtration is the most important one. You want to make sure that that's what you're doing and getting all that stuff off. That's what you don't want in your drink at the end of the day. Otherwise, you'll be pouring shots of these or whatever, and you'll have some horrible stuff floating on top. So this is the first level of filtration we've done. And as you can see, the colour has gone out a bit. If you particularly wanted, you could put some colour dye or something in there, but you don't really need to at the end of the day. So that's it for this part, and I'll do some more filtration and I'll show you the final product when I finish filtering it out, and you guys can see what it looks like. Thanks for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, what's up? So this is the final part of the Skittle Vodka I'm recording. As you can see, they're all done and finished now. They've all come out pretty well actually, to be honest, apart from the orange one. Doesn't really look that orange. I'll go into that in a few minutes. In terms of filtration, I filtered them all about 4 times, 4 times each, and that got rid of all the stuff floating on top. They came out pretty well, I think. Obviously, I keep topping up with extra vodka every filtration, some more gets lost through that. I think they came out pretty well. All the stuff that's floating on top came off. Going back to the orange one, that one did have the most stuff constantly floating on it, which kind of sucked. And that's where a lot of the colour was coming from, and obviously get rid of it, a lot of colour came out. So obviously I think for this one, if you were particularly worried about appearance of your drinks, I would say go buy some orange food dye or something, put a couple of drops in here, or go buy it like that. But it's also, looking at these, you can also kind of see the difference between, say, going out and buying some from a shop or online or whatever and making it yourself. The differences are quite obvious to me. Obviously the colours here might not be as vibrant as you would get if you were to buy them online, but that shows you how much extra sort of food dye and stuff like that they put in these ones online. In terms of how they smell and taste, it's pretty good actually, I can't complain. So you know, I mean, I finished filtering these this morning. I put them in the freezer. I've been there for about 2 hours sitting in the freezer. I mean, I think these ones came out quite well. The only one that was a bit disappointing was the orange one. I mean, it looks kind of, you know, a bit too pale. But overall, I'm pretty happy for how this came out. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing how I made the Skittle Vodka. And hopefully, you know, you'll give this a try at some point. I think if you were to try it, I would possibly suggest trying it sort of gradually. So, you know, you do one colour, then move to another, just to make sure you're not doing anything wrong. Time-wise, it was pretty quick actually. I mean, it took me about 3 days to do, but I was only doing it a little bit each day. Overall, I think it took me about 4 or 5 hours tops to do all of these. I mean, you could easily do this in about 12 to 14 hours straight. The only sort of thing you need to wait for is for Skittles to dissolve and for the filtration. Those are the only bits that take much time, because you can't just put the Skittles in, start filtering straight away. It won't work. So I mean, you know, time-wise, it's pretty easy to do. I mean, every time you filter, it gets quicker because there's less going to be sorted through. So I think if you were going to do this, you could easily do it just by sparing maybe, you know, an hour or so a day, do it over a week or whatever, something like that. So this was my Skittle Vodka tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys, you know, give it a try, see what you think of your own. I'll see you guys around.